All right, welcome back to Money Mixology. As always, it's your host, Jason. Well, folks, we have reached the end of season one of Money Mixology. I want to give the most sincere thank you to all of the listeners. The audience size has grown, so you've all been sharing the message out, which I sincerely appreciate. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from emails and comments. I've had a lot of listeners send in questions, which certainly helps. I mean, heck, we were able to do a whole radio episode just on the questions. So I do sincerely appreciate all the support. When I started this podcast 20 some episodes ago, candidly, I wasn't sure I'd be any good at it. I'm not even sure I'm good at it now, but at least I did it. And all of you supported me and listened. And I just really want to say thank you for that. It has been really fun. And I've had some great guests. And I hope that you've learned a lot in this series. So season one will be ending with this episode today, but it will be coming back. I'm not gone forever. So Money Mixology will return with a season two, and the radio show with all new guests will come in the fall when the university is back in session for the new semester. Solo shows like this one will come back midsummer after I take a little break and get some new material and get some new shows lined up and that kind of thing. So please like and subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe because then you'll know when the second season drops, and you'll be able to kind of jump right back on the train. Before I get started on what we're going to cover for this last show, I do want to give a shout out to two different podcasts that had me on as a guest over the last couple of weeks. They were really fun, and I want you guys to go out and listen to the episodes and then support them. So the first one is the Pilot Money Guys with Charlie. He's down in Tennessee. His show is geared towards airline pilots, but when I was on the show, what we did was take the approach of the psychological biases and challenges and struggles that professionals have, people in high level professional careers. What challenges are they facing? What are they dealing with? And so we took that approach. And it was really good. So again, the Pilot Money Guys, please go give him a like and subscribe to his channel and take a listen to that episode. The second one was Things I Wish I Knew About Money with Camille. She was hilarious, and I was on that podcast for almost 3 hours. We talked about everything under the sun when it comes to the financial psychology stuff. She really liked the topic. Her listeners, it was a live show. So we had people putting questions in the chat in real time. It was a great experience. And so please go give her a listen. Again, Things I Wish I Knew About Money. Like and subscribe. She's got really good content on that channel. And I appreciate them having me on. For the actual show today, what I wanted to basically cover was the journey that the show's core message has taken, and what I hope all of you have been able to gather over our time together over these 20 some episodes. And I wanted to do it not in a summary format, sort of professor reviewing things. That's perhaps a little dry, but I just wanted to kind of throw it out there as a reminder of the things that I believe and why I want all of you so desperately to learn the ideas around the psychology of your thinking when it comes to money and the impact it can have. And so I wanted to start by just reiterating the one golden rule of money mixology, which is that money does not get its own set of rules. And I think this is important as a quick reminder because if you go out and you listen to other podcasts and you listen to other professionals or you do readings or you watch something on YouTube and they're talking about psychology in any way, it absolutely applies to your money. And so I want you to start to have that frame of mind that Jason Moore is certainly not your only source of knowledge when it comes to the way you think about money. Not by a loud 1,000-mile stretch am I the only source. Any source you hear about psychology is going to be a potential nugget of information about the way you think when it comes to your finances. And so take it as such. When you hear them, take a moment to step back and say, that's interesting. How would that apply to my financial world? Is it something I should consider? I think that's really important. I also think that it's incredibly important that all of you, and myself included, are a little more kind to ourselves when it comes to potentially bad decisions we've made. There are almost always underlying factors, psychological factors that are underpinning these decisions. And so understanding those will allow us to give ourselves and others a little bit of grace when it comes to our decision making. That we're all crazy together. So, you know, take it for what it is, and just move forward and learn from it. But it also that lends itself directly into the foundation of this entire channel, which is that wealth is based on your behavior. And so this is so critically important because it doesn't matter if you're the most knowledgeable person in the world when it comes to finances. It doesn't matter if you've made past mistakes in finances. You always control your behavior. And so you can therefore begin to take steps to move forward, make better behavioral decisions, develop better habits, and therefore develop better wealth. If you get nothing else out of this entire podcast, all 20 some episodes I've done so far, if you hear nothing else, hear that message. Your wealth, your future wealth is based on the habits you develop, nothing else. There is no other factor that will matter in any meaningful way outside of the habits and behaviors that you develop. And this should be incredibly empowering to you because you control it. So no one else can take that away from you. No one else can stop you if that's what you want to do. You develop the habits and you move forward. Clearly, I believe you should try your best to learn the information, learn how 401ks work, learn how IRAs work, learn the best principles within car insurance, etc., etc. That won't be this channel. You should go listen to the Money Guys with Brian and Bo. They're the best channel on YouTube and on podcasting. They have great material that will teach you the ins and outs of the actual products that you're using. But the reality is, knowing how the 401k works doesn't mean anything if you don't put your money in it. So the behavior is what's going to cause the wealth to grow, not the knowledge. So all of that said, I wanted to take just a quick moment and give you very clear, concise steps that I believe everyone listening to the show can take to begin improving your wealth immediately and to begin improving your mental and psychological strength around finances. And this is where we will finish this season, is helping you have tools and steps to walk away with and to practice and put in place and get strong at before I come back with season 2. So, step 1, you need to take time exploring your own money history. Now, this is a gratuitous, disgusting self plug, and you know I try to avoid those if at all possible. But if you need to do that process, my book, Crazy Money, which is on Amazon, has a couple of chapters with specific tools and specific little lists and games and things you can play that will let you walk through the process of exploring your own money history so that you can understand all of the reasons that the mindsets you have, your behavior patterns, all of that will become so much more clear to you when you understand your history with money. And we've talked ad nauseum on this channel because that's the underpinning to the whole thing, is understanding that background, where you come from and why you think the way you do is so important before you can begin to take any steps to change it. So I would encourage you to do that. I would highly encourage you to convince your partner to do the same. I've asked my wife a number of times. She has done some of this work. She is most of the time it's just in conversation with me, helping her sort of grapple with the things that happened in her childhood, her upbringing that have caused some of the behaviors she has now. And she is aware of them. And just that awareness has allowed her to alter some of the behavior. It's incredibly powerful to know why you make the decisions you make, because then you take the control back. The second step after you've explored your money history is to do some exploration about which of the money mindsets or scripts, if that's the term you prefer, that you have. Now, I've explored 4 of them during that little mini series we did. So you very likely have 1 or 2 of those mindsets, but there are others out there. And when I return with season 2, we'll discuss some of the other ones. But understanding your current mindset around money, basically the software coding that is running in the background, that is often driven by your history or almost exclusively driven by your history, So that history you have with money, your upbringing, childhood, culture, community, religion, schooling, all of it has fed into a current software version that you have in your brain that has given you a mindset. That mindset is absolutely dictating all of your behavior, whether you know it or not, in most cases, not. So once you do know it, you can begin to take very direct steps to either enhance it, correct it, whatever the appropriate position may be. After you do those two things, then I want you to have a conversation with your partner and or your planner. So if you don't have a partner, then go get a planner. But have the conversation with a third party. Discuss it with someone else so that you are forced to crystallize it. You have to be able to think about it strong enough, deep enough, and have enough clarity that you can clearly articulate it to another person. When I say this is what I'm struggling with my mindset, what do I mean? Be able to put it in a position where if you can explain it to another person, then you know it well enough. That's your cue that you have done enough work. Because if you can explain it to somebody else, you know it. It's also important that if you're in a partnership of any kind, that you have the conversation so you understand your partner's position. You understand their history. You understand their mindsets. It will give you a better ability to come together and grow together in your finances. It will also allow both of you to give the other one a little bit of grace. When they make a mistake or they do something that seems goofy to you, it will make a heck of a lot more sense when you understand their history and their mindset. Then we get into the more technical stuff. If you've listened to me for more than about 30 seconds on these 25 episodes, I have said build a budget, build a budget, build a freaking budget. If you don't have a budget by this point, I'm going to murder you. So please build a freaking budget, but build a budget that is yours. Do not build a budget that Jason would approve. Do not build a budget that Dave Ramsey would approve. Definitely don't build that budget. Do not build a budget that your planner would approve. Build a budget you approve of. Because if you do not, you will not stick with it. We've talked about the concept of utility on this channel. This idea that the value you place on things, not the monetary value, not the dollar figure, the value you place on an experience, an item, a present, whatever it may be, your budget must be based on your utility. Now, if you're in a partnership, spouse, married, whatever the case is, that budget must be based on the combined utility. You must have that conversation, and both of you must buy in to the budget. If you do not, then one of you is going to deviate from it, and that should be fully expected. You should not be surprised when one of the spouses goes off the rails if they did not agree to the initial premise. If it was not a budget built for them, then why in the world would they care to follow it? So make sure that both of you are buying into the budget with proper utility done there. That all ties into the goal setting, short, medium, long-term goal setting. If you need help with that, go back and listen to the episode I did with Rachel Stern when we talked about goal setting and the proper ways to do it, the ways to view it, the ways to do it when you're in partnership. We had a whole hour-long episode where we talked about goal setting. Make sure that your budget is in service of those goals. That's the whole point of a budget, is to keep control of the finances and direct the train in the path you want it to go on. Build the tracks towards the goal. That way the budget will just power it, basically. The final thing, automate, automate, automate. If I was yelling at you about the budget, I am yelling at you again about automating. You must remove yourself from the equation. You are the problem, Taylor Swift. So get out of the way. Automate everything you possibly can. The only one I am going to tell you to automate is your retirement at 20% of your income. So Jason doesn't like to give you many directives, but that is 3 directives I am giving you. A budget, a freaking budget, automate, and 20% towards retirement. If you do those 3 things, the rest of your financial world will fall in place, I promise you. And so just take that advice, please. If you hear nothing else from me, do that. Build a budget, automate everything, and put 20% of your money towards your retirement. Simple as that. So those are the steps that I want you to take with you as you go into the summer, into the off season, if you will. and start to strengthen your finances. Put them in place, have the conversations, have the important, difficult conversations with people around you, do self exploration, figure out why you make the crazy decisions you make. We all make crazy decisions, myself included. Why are we all crazy? So let's figure it out together. And then when that's all done and you've automated it and you're on your way to riches, then please come back when season 2 launches and we'll have some more fun together. I appreciate everything you've done for the channel over the last few months. It has been an absolute blast and a joy to try to get out there and experience this with people. I hope you've had a good time. Please continue to have the feedback coming in or questions you have. That'd be really awesome. It's info@moneymixology.com. Send me anything you have, questions or comments. Everyone have a wonderful time. Thank you again, and I hope you have a great day. Adios for now.